Hi everyone, welcome back to Taji's World of Books and welcome to another book recommendations video. Hi you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And so I was thinking about a recommendation video that I could do for you, and I had a completely different video planned. And then as these things go, I finished a book and I decided that I was going to build a recommendations video around this particular book. Okay, so I told you guys I was going to read this, and I went ahead and read Forbidden by Tabitha Suzuma. Whew. This is not going to be a spoiler video because I like for you guys to go into stuff blind, as I did, because I feel like it's the best reading experience. But let me start off by saying, first off, I read dark romances. I love dark romances. I love twisted characters. I love dark characters. I love the arc that they go through. I love everything that happens to these dark characters. I just absolutely love it. But and bully romances, right? Like, because there's forced proximity, and I was, I just finished reading, as you guys know, Sam Mariano's Untouchable, and one of the things that I had said about Untouchable is that I felt like the timetable should be shifted because the characters appeared to be older, but then Jen from the Book Refuge reminded me that they're bully romances because they're forced proximity, right? They're forced to be together because they're in high school, like, right? So my point in saying all of this is there is a formulaic approach that I expect to get in a dark romance, and I expect the book to follow that formulaic approach, right? And this book did not follow that. So I'm going to title, and you're going to see in the title, so let's backtrack a little bit. You're going to see in the title that these are books that made me sob, that made me cry. They are cry-worthy reads. And this book just tore my heart out. And I say everything that I say about dark romances because dark romances follow this formulaic approach. They tear your heart out and they put it back together. My heart is just torn out, okay? So this book is not for everybody. It's a tough content. It's tough subject matter. It's about it's set in the UK. It's about an English family where the mom and dad have gotten together. They've separated because dad has found a love interest elsewhere, and he basically has a new family. There are 5 kids. The mom basically falls apart and starts drinking and really starts to pursue her own life as opposed to taking care of her kids. And so as a result, she leaves the caretaking of her children to her 2 oldest children, one of which is 17, the other is 16. And these 2 siblings fall in love. I don't even know how else to say it. They fall in love. They fall in love because their circumstances are one in which they never saw themselves as brother and sister, but rather joint caretakers of these children, younger siblings that they are forced to raise. Ooh, this is a tough read. This is a tough read. It's heavy, it's hard, it's heart-wrenching. The male character, his name is Locken, his sister calls him Locky. He is guilt-ridden, eaten up by shame, anxiety-ridden, struggles, doesn't know what to do with this. They know that this relationship is wrong. They know that this relationship is forbidden. They just, it's torture. It's torture. It's so good, but it's so like, you walk away like feeling like, oh my freaking God, like seriously? Like it's just, and you're so angry. And when you read through it, I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to say any more about the plot. But when you read through it, this mother who has left these children to fend for themselves, you are so angry at her and so frustrated. And you just want to strangle her because she has put these kids in this position. And so I don't know if you can handle it. This is heavy, heavy, heavy. I can't even say, is it a story that needs to be told? I don't know. I don't know what to say about, obviously, and they're fearful that they're going to get caught because they know that this is illegal. They're trying to figure out a way to move forward. How can we build a life together? What does that look like? You know, do we leave the younger siblings? Do we run away and change our identity? It just is heavy, 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 heavy. So if you are up for the challenge and you think you can do it, it's a good read. I gave it a 5 out of 5 star. It tore my heart out. It was so, so heavy. Okay. Another cringe-worthy, cry-worthy book is A Little Life. Will I ever read this book again? No. It is about 5 friends that come together to support themselves. They're all guys. And it's about their stories, and you get the different point of views. And it is about Jude and Jude's story, and trigger warnings for everything, self-harm, everything. And it is just a struggle from start to finish, and you just want to see Jude have some happiness, and you want to see that things get better for Jude. And it is hard, 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 and this is a book that I will never forget. I think it needs to be taught in like literature classes so that you can dissect and really think about the intricacies of all the things that have gone on in this book and everything that has happened. It is a tough, tough read. It is a worthwhile read. I'm happy that I did it, but I don't think I'll ever pick this up again because it just shredded my heart into pieces. When I finished this book, I walked into into our bedroom and I said to my husband, I gotta talk, because I don't even know what to do with this because it's so heavy and so hard, but it was so good. And you just are rooting in so many ways for these characters, and then it's just tough. And again, these are not for the faint of heart, and these are cry-worthy and heavy, and I like huge character arcs and character development, but sometimes you want things to go a certain way, and, you know, it is what it is. So the next 3 books that I'm going to talk about are all from Sherrilyn Kenyon, and these are fantasy romance books. So I'll put that out there. But these are heavy, heavy, heavy stories. This is from her League novels. This one is called Born of Silence. And this particular book is Zarya and Darling Cruel's character. And Darling Cruel, trigger warnings for, you know, abuse, neglect, torture. It is just, and the next 3 books are all trigger warnings for torture and, you know, abuse and neglect, and all of these books that are heavy have these contents. And I like that Sherrilyn Kenyon goes, you know, she gives you a synopsis at the beginning that I thought was beautifully written. I think that she goes in and tells you that this is about the human condition and building character, and that what are you willing to do to be better, to absolve yourself, to overcome, even when life throws you all kinds of stuff. And can you do it by yourself, or do you need other people to support and help you through it? So these novels, this particular, her League Nemesis novels, are set in a futuristic society in which it's a very cruel society, and there is lots of factioning and warring. And, you know, you have a militia group that is trying to fight against the imperialism and to try to free the people. And there's a lot of misunderstandings, and there's a lot of violence that's wrought. And it just, your heart breaks throughout this story because you just lose faith in humanity, but then you gain it again. And so this is a tough, tough read, but I loved it. I loved it, you know, and I love fantasy romance. And so this delivers in so many ways. This is a 5 out of 5 star. And I'm not going to say in any of these books, I'm not going to talk about an HEA because I don't, if you've not read them, I want you to go into it like and experience it as it is. And so I'm not going to say if any of these books have an HEA, but go and check it out for yourself. But this was absolutely worthwhile. If you haven't read any of Sherrilyn Kenyon's stuff, you absolutely should. So I'm going to talk about these 2 books together. These are from her Sherrilyn Kenyon's Dark Hunter novels. This is Styxx, who is Acheron's brother, and this is Acheron. You read this first in the series, and then this book comes. You think you know what's going on after you read this book, and then you read this, and you're broken all over again. And these 2 stories are poignant, powerful, beautiful. I was sobbing throughout it because I just wanted it to be over, and I wanted it to be better, and I wanted them to overcome. The stories are necessary to be told. You think you know who Acheron is until you read his story, and then you think you know and you understand, and then you read this story and you're like, what the hell? Like, Sherrilyn delivered in so many ways in both of these books. And again, trigger warnings, check them out. Done so well. They're fantasy romance. They are beautifully written. It's about, you know, the Artemis's army, the Dark Hunters. The Dark Hunters are like a vampire-like creature. They're set to fight another faction. They're needed and necessary. Acheron is the head of the Dark Hunters, and you have to hear their stories to hear what they have gone through in order to get to where they are. But these are powerful, powerful books. If you've never read any of Sherrilyn Kenyon stuff, this is where you start. Some people like her League Nemesis Rising, these books, better than the Dark Hunters. I love the Dark Hunter series, and if you haven't gotten on Sherrilyn Kenyon's kick about the Dark Hunters, every book follows a different character, but there's an ongoing theme and a storyline and a plot that's developing. But these are like Acheron is like the main dude. You need to know what's going on with Acheron, and when you get to these books, I'm telling you, they are chunkers, but they are so, so, so worth it. You will not be disappointed, because they just deliver in so many ways, and it's about redemption, it's about forgiveness, it's about burden, it's about doing what's best for mankind and the good of all, and sacrifice. And I can't go on enough to gush and gush and gush and gush and then gush some more, because they are so, so good. And I don't hear enough booktube people talking about Sherrilyn Kenyon. Sherrilyn Kenyon delivers. Don't sleep on her, I'm telling you. So those are the 5 books that are cry-worthy books, that are good recommendations, that they're not for the faint of heart, and if you think you're ready for it, you're not. But you will thank me, because they are very, very good. Maybe a couple of them you might be like, why did you do this to me? I'm sorry, but it is what it is. I got to share the wealth. If you have other cry-worthy books or other books that are really emotionally poignant and you think need to be read, please put them in the comments below, because I'm always on the hunt for new things and new content. So that is all I have for today, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look for, I forgot to say it. You guys know I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye!